You know, I've been making a couple of videos here during my time on YouTube, and one comment you guys just love to leave is that my videos don't contain any guns, and that I should really have some guns. Now, I'm not really sure why a family-oriented and largely wholesome channel like my own would need something as violent as guns, but hey, if that's what you guys want, check out my new channel trailer. I think you'll like it. Also, please stop trying to guess my address. It's not happening! Oh, frick! We all knew this video was coming. I promised myself that any memories of this game would be locked away in the deepest, darkest recesses of my mind, along with every single bad licensed video game I've played on the PS2 and GameCube. But you know what? It's been 20 years since Shadow the Hedgehog came out. Sorry, I need a moment.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine.
Anyway, I figured it'd be nice to go back and see how well Shadows, the game, not the character, aged, especially in light of more recent developments in the Shadow anthology that Sega has been putting out. But before we get into that, hey, I'm Attaboy, and this is the Attaboy Show. If you like what I do, or just like hearing me talk, why not subscribe and ring that notification bell so YouTube will tell you when I upload new videos. Thanks for your support. Now back to your regularly scheduled programming. I'll see you later. And that was a mistake. Because no matter how good Shadow Generations might have been, I've discovered that, in my totally non-biased and reasonable opinion, they can't just go back and pretend that Shadow the Hedgehog, again, the game, didn't irrevocably damage the Sonic franchise more than anything else, and yes, that game included. He shot people! With guns! Okay, let's back up. This game is the lowest point of the Sonic franchise. Yes, my fellow Hedgehog enthusiasts, even worse than 06. Okay, I hear you guys. That's not a very popular opinion. But stick around and I will convince you that this is actually where the Sonic franchise goes downhill. Not like that. It's not all bad. And I will be discussing some positives of the game, or even areas that I really liked and how they can be improved. But let me warn you right now, if you're a die-hard Owl the Edge enjoyer, and you won't accept any criticism against the greatest thing since shot up bread that Shadow the Hedgehog, the game, is, you're not gonna like me after I'm done talking about this thing. I'd still say, hey, stick around, because who knows? Maybe I'll make some seemingly small mistake that you, and only you, can call me out on in the comments. And then I'll have to take the whole video down in embarrassment. Who knows? It could happen. But the real reason I wanted to talk about this game, when it's already kind of been discussed ad nauseum on YouTube, is, well, firstly, it's my channel, okay? Literally, my name is right there. But really, it's the fact that this game and I have such a rich and storied history together. I mean, I was really young when this game came out, and I somehow managed to convince my parents to get me this game that blatantly shows a hedgehog gunning people down in the streets on the front cover. And you know, even back then, I knew something was up with this game. And I gotta say, little me was forever changed by seeing Shadow gun people down as they begged for mercy. So to really understand this game, let's start at the beginning. Of course, the menu sounds are gunshots. Shadow the Hedgehog is a game about Shadow the Hedgehog. Shocking, I know. As he tries to reclaim his past that he's forgotten again.
Who are you, and how do you know I'm Shadow?
What? How does he know? What? Why is it so surprising that he knows you? Everybody knows you, Shadow. I know you may have forgotten, but everyone... You saved the world. There's a picture of you on the president's desk. The president has a picture of you, Shadow the Hedgehog. You're a hero. You're a national icon. You shouldn't trust someone just because they claim to know who you are. Everybody knows who you are. Anyway, he goes about this by just kind of asking the people who were either there when he was created, like Black Doom, or Eggman, who may have found his body after it crashed into Earth after the events of Sonic Adventure 2. And you know, right off the bat, I gotta say, I'm actually pretty impressed at how much this game requires you to at least have some familiarity with what happened in both Sonic Adventure 2 and Sonic Heroes. Because if you're going in blind, well, good luck. This game does not spend any time really explaining who anyone is or why Shadow is so edgy this time. I mean, just look at the first cutscene. We go from Shadow having a flashback to the city being invaded by aliens. Like, this isn't actually a normal thing for the Sonic franchise, and it's the start of my complaints. I mean, really? Aliens? Look, I know. It might sound weird to be up in arms about aliens in a franchise about anthropomorphic animals using the power of friendship to fight a mad, egg-shaped doctor that probably isn't actually allowed to practice medicine, but I actually, genuinely believe aliens might be a bit too far. The main issue being that it kinda overcomplicates the very existence of all the characters as we know them, while also opening the door to uncomfortable questions about the entire narrative universe. I mean, if one species of aliens exists, what's to say there aren't more? And what if Sonic and his friends are actually just aliens? I mean, Shadow kinda is, and it would explain why they look so different from normal animals. See where I'm going with this? I could honestly talk about just the aliens thing and its ramifications for the series moving forward. You think it's a coincidence that we started getting demons and like the devil himself in Sonic lore? Well, it started here. But I'm not gonna, because we don't have time for that. I will say though, to the game's credit, the story setup is very intriguing. Minus the whole, is Shadow an alien thing that they got going on. Shadow going around and interacting with all the characters is actually pretty great, even if he doesn't say much in these interactions. But it is a treat to see how other characters that don't usually interact with him, like Charmy or Vector, speak to him about his issues and possible paths forward. Oh, and when he meets up with Sonic...
Shadow, what are you doing?
Okay, this is where it all goes downhill for me. Which is not good because this happens in the first moment of the game. Even as a kid, I saw Shadow shoot a person in the face and Sonic just casually swearing, and I knew that something had gone very, very wrong with the franchise. And that's probably my main issue with this game, in that it betrays the core elements and characterization of pretty much all the Sonic characters, just to have, what? Some guns? Some explosions? Mild swearing? Shadow going all Second Amendment on the military is one thing, but Sonic just standing by and letting him do that is seriously messed up. If Sonic were actually written correctly, he'd throw hands right then and there, even in the middle of an alien invasion. Like, he knows how dangerous it would be to have Shadow, the ultimate life form, running around shooting people while being very confused and in a fragile mental state. Also, I don't think Sonic would be on the military side. Like, it's pretty clear from the adventure era that Sonic does not like Big Brother-esque corruption and abuses of power. And, he's pretty anti-authority. I mean, he basically says a PG version of F the police in SA2. So him being on the military side here and throughout the story is kinda weird. Other than that, some of the writing here is just, well, listen for yourself.
Hey, Shadow! The black creatures have infiltrated my castle.
Woohoo! I bet no one expected this baby could fly.
He wants me to find 5 top secret discs. But what's a top secret disc?
You've deliberately disobeyed me, Shadow.
No one tells me what to do. We're on our way to the Ark, so I guess that means we're going too. This is like taking candy from a baby, which is fine by me. Siding with them? You're joking, right? I'm just siding with whoever goes up against you. This time you're going down, Sonic.
You know what? Let's just move on, okay? Let's talk about the gameplay. It can't be that bad, can it?
Fly a little faster. Damn, not here.
It stinks. It's pretty bad. For some reason, they took out all traction in Shadow's movement. So you're slipping and sliding all over the place. I'd kind of describe it like, you know how in Sonic Adventure 2 when you're playing the kart minigame and you brake while hitting a wall and then you start drifting all over the place? What? You don't know what I'm talking about? Yeah, there's a cart minigame in SA2. Okay, well, whatever. That's how it feels to control Shadow, like, all the time in this game. It makes even just moving around really difficult and kinda unfun. The levels don't even really seem designed for this kind of movement. Like, there's a ton of tight hallways with obstacles seemingly designed to make you crash or fall off. Look, here I spent like 20 minutes just trying to get up on this dumb red goo. I know, skill issue. But it feels like I'm fighting the game just to move forward. And shooting people! Okay, that's actually a lot of fun. Some of the weapons are pretty sick, and gunning down hordes of enemies is probably the most fun I've had in this game. Is it weird that we're in a Sonic game, mercilessly gunning people down? Yes. Does it make it not fun though? Well, the gunplay would be better if the movement was better. As it stands, it kind of feels like we're playing as every character from Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 at the same time. In all, it's probably my least favorite feeling Sonic game, other than those games that don't even really work, like 06 or Secret Rings. But back to 06. The recent 06 restoration project kinda shows that there was a good game buried underneath a mountain of bad codes and bugs. But here, I'm not so sure. The design of the levels seem all over the place, and the missions require so much waiting. Like, almost every level has multiple sections where you're just standing around not doing anything. Like, seriously, this is unedited footage right here. Yep. Still waiting. And that's not even the worst of it. You see, Shadow the Hedgehog employs a pseudo-branching level system, where each level has multiple different missions that unlock new paths throughout the story. Each level, well, most of them anyway, have 3 possible paths: a good path, a bad path, and a neutral path. Each path then connects to different levels based on your actions throughout the run. So technically, the back of the box can boast 12 kajillion possible routes. On paper, this sounds great. But remember, we're playing the Waste His Time simulator. So actually, each mission that isn't the neutral mission is some boring, repetitive task that takes way too long and honestly just feels like padding. I'm not exaggerating when I say these missions push the stages and my patience to the limits. The first stage, which you will play countless times if you want to be able to see more than 3 endings, takes upwards of 7 minutes to complete either of the 2 side objectives. The worst part is, these levels have no minimap, no objective markers, and no easy way to determine what to do. So often you're just kind of going through the stage over and over again, trying to find that one enemy you did not kill, or that one tiny mission objective that was hidden behind some wall. Not sure what's up with that. It seems kind of mean, honestly. And some of those later missions, let me tell you, I could not even finish the later levels in the game, since you pretty much always have to go back to the Ark in some capacity. And honestly, all these levels take 15 minutes and make me very, very nauseous. As much fun as it is to get awesome, irresponsibly large weapons and use them to kill the president, yes, that's a real mission, Sonic stages should be short and replayable, not unending nightmares that are a real pain to slog through. Now, you might notice that I have yet to mention any sort of speed or momentum. Well, that's because the only missions that let you play a Sonic level, normally, getting to the goal as fast as possible, are the neutral missions, which, if you look at the chart, are actually a small proportion of the total number of missions. If you only do neutral missions, you can finish the game in under an hour, and you'll get what is probably the dumbest ending out of all of them, in which Shadow, who up until now, we've had no reason to doubt his intelligence or anything, sees these PS1 era looking Shadow clones that the good old doctor made and comes to the obvious conclusion that he must also be an android as well. Dude, they look like paper mache, and they shoot missiles. Do you shoot missiles? No, I didn't think so. So obviously, you're not a robot, Shadow. I mean, even Omega shoots missiles. Come on, man. It's like Eggman's signature at this point.
Yes, Shadow. As you can see, I have rockets. Therefore, I am a robot. You do not have rockets, so you are likely not a robot. Just saying. I don't think you've really been thinking things through lately. Lots of anger issues. You should probably get some therapy. But taking out Eggman is also good. I agree. We should do that.
What?
Also, you should subscribe to the Attaboy show. Thank you.
Also, all those endings I mentioned, yeah, they're actually all the same. No, I mean it. Look, here's all of them overlaid on top of each other. If it hasn't become clear by now, this game loves to reuse content. And I mean loves to reuse content. Most of the stages are actually the same stage, but with a different color palette. Most of the story beats are always played, even when they make little sense in the context of what you just did in the previous level. Like right here, I'm in some sort of military facility with my man Charmy, just chilling, trying to collect some secret discs. But then you do the neutral path, and boom, suddenly you're in the sky? Fighting Eggman? And the whole game is like this. It's not an exaggeration to say some of these story beats are straight up nonsense. Most of the dialogue is repeated throughout each route, and again, not to get too repetitive or anything, but all these endings are literally just a model swap and a slight tweak in dialogue. Even as a kid, I felt scammed playing through all 50-something stages it takes to see every ending and to get the true ending. But hey, we got the last ending, and honestly, that's really good. In it, we get Shadow.
Goodbye forever, Shadow the Hedgehog.
What? Huh? We just spent the whole game trying to figure out who Shadow is, and now he just doesn't care? Sorry about that. After trying to play this game again, I'm left with the question, who asked for this? It was me. I asked for this. I and every crayon-eating kid asked for Shadow to have guns and shoot people. Not sure where the aliens came from, but we did this. Sonic fans. I mean, not literally, we didn't make the game or anything. Sega and Sonic Team did, but you know what I mean. Also, those execs probably saw dollar signs when they saw how popular Shadow was. So I'm guessing it probably went a little something like this. Alright, gentlemen, we need a good idea to make a game that's only about Shadow. That looks good. What if we gave Shadow a vote?
Yeah, what if he had
It could work.
weapon of some kind?
Best child safe. You know, Shadow is really popular. And personally, I think people liked him in SA2 not for his edginess, but for his nuanced performance and ideologies. He was soft-spoken, yet confident in both SA2 and Heroes. But here, he's confused, angry, and acts kind of pathetic. It could have worked really well, but the execution here was more than lacking. It was kind of insulting. I hate this game with a passion. And there's a lot of stuff I didn't even touch on for the sake of, my own sanity. Like, why did they make this game have stretchy animations? The Looney Tunes style animation does not gel with the very serious tone the game tries to go for. Or how about the army giving its soldiers, like, these handguns to take out alien monsters that look like this? Or how about the homing attack that just doesn't work? I could go on and on. But I can't help but wonder what could have been. There's a lot of good ideas sprinkled throughout here. And honestly, Shadow X Sonic Generations, do we have to call it that, which was released late last year, did everything this game tries to do and did it way, way better. I mean, pretty much everything Shadow the Hedgehog was trying to say, this game kinda said, but in a more mature and interesting way. And also, it's like super fun too? Probably the best Sonic game released in years. Maybe I should make a video about that game instead. But one thing, even for all its strengths, I can't help but notice something's missing from that game. That's better. I'm actually really glad that this game has kind of upended the terrible legacy of Shadow the Hedgehog, and now my kid self can rest easy, knowing I'll never have to do something silly like chase down the president and blow up his plane, all while Tails is yelling at me to cut it out, basically, and not do that. Honestly, anything would be better than looking for that dang 4th emerald. Music still slaps though.